Hello my friends, it's Monday as I sit here and shoot this, and I'm going to talk about a new foundation today. It's in a squeeze tube. It's CoverGirl. It's called Clean Foundation. Do you remember what it used to be? Yes, that bottle, that triangular shaped glass bottle. Well, in PR, I was sent the new version, and I'm definitely familiar with the old, but now they're making it very clear, yes, we have redone this. So here's what they're pointing out about this. There's been a lot of changes. They're saying it's a new formula. They're saying it's clean and fragrance free, easier to use packaging. Obviously, it was just a twist cap like glass bottle before. It says kind to skin formula, lightweight breathable vegan formula, melts into skin for radiant complexion, buildable coverage, they say, won't clog pores, looks and feels like your skin but better. Also, they're talking about the easier to use, more sustainable packaging. This is a 30% post-consumer recycled squeeze tube, and obviously that's a lot less messy than just the twist off glass bottle. But I've been using this stuff on and off for about the past week. I definitely feel some differences compared to what I remember from the old clean makeup, and today I really wanted to think about the staying power side of things. So just personally for me, I find a drugstore like core product makeover kind of fascinating, but also this product runs $6.88 at Walmart. So we're looking at basically a new foundation, but they didn't jack the price up to 10 or 12 bucks. So I think that's worth noting as well. I have the shade Golden Ivory here. It's number 109. And as far as what's currently on my skin, it's just my skincare. I'm not gonna work in a primer today because I really wanna see how this feels just on its own. I felt like this product has felt pretty juicy on my skin, even though it's thin and light, and like as you even just squeeze it out here, it's pretty runny. I'm gonna use what would seem like a full pump, I guess, if I had a pump. It feels super thin. It feels about like the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator, if you're familiar with that. Maybe a little more runny than that, actually. Anytime I've used it, I'm like, wow, it feels juicy on my skin. And I started to think, well, maybe that's just the primer you're using. Like I've used my Refi primer a lot, and that can add some hydration. But today I'm going primerless just to really sense what it's doing. So I've gotten that patched around. They sent 3 shades, and this just seemed like the closest one that they sent me. And they say the coverage is buildable. So right now, like as I just blend out that cheek, I'm getting what feels like maybe a medium coverage, light to medium. I don't have tons on my face, but we're gonna try to build in a few areas in a second and see if that claim holds true. But yeah, I'm gonna do some check-ins today and see how this actually wears. But getting this blended out all over, yeah, it does feel like really tacky to the touch. And I checked and my skincare did not feel that like over the top hydrating. I'm just wearing my Vanity Cream Daily Facial Moisturizer. That's my all over on top of my serums. And I've got some of the thicker Vanity Cream on my under eye area. And I've got some Bare Minerals sunscreen on there too. And I think it's important to point out I have a normal skin type that just verges on a little dry at times. I don't think it's a strong medium coverage, but I think it qualifies as medium. I'm seeing an overall skin tone evening out. I can still see that like my nose is a bit more slightly reddish than the rest of my face. Small imperfections have not been canceled out, but in an overall sense, I feel a lot more even. And I just want you to look at the way light is hitting the surface of the skin to see how juicy it really feels. It's feeling like something I'd really want to set just because going throughout my day, possibly, you know, putting my hand on my face or whatever, I don't like the thought of anything potentially transferring off. But I want to check on that buildability that they mentioned. So I could maybe build up coverage just a bit on my nose, maybe add a little more on the under eye area. So let's just try a few little dabs just to see if we can do it, because I haven't really focused on this before. Not adding tons because, again, I don't want to get too tacky. I would say it built slightly, but what I do like is the way my skin looks overall, even as I kind of complain somewhat about the tackiness, and as it's sat here like on my cheeks, it still kind of feels that way. My skin does look fresh, there is a radiance there. It's kind of like a stepped up coverage-wise tinted moisturizer. That's the way it makes me feel. So I want you to see the additional steps that I do so you know where like coverage is coming from. I'm just going to use my Revlon Color Stay Flex Wear Concealer. I don't have a CoverGirl concealer on hand. This is in Porcelain, and I'm going to dab it right in there, out here, just my usual places. This will really help out my under eye and my nose area. We're not really having any super huge issues to conceal today, but I would always apply concealer. So I'm just taking my small end here, spreading it out. And setting wise, I think I will just really keep it light as far as all over the face setting. I don't want to do too much. I really want to see what this product alone is going to kind of leave me with all day. So even if I am a little uncomfortable with the feel or some tackiness, I'm going to go with it because I just want to know what this product is actually about, you know. Dabbing it in. That looks so good. That concealer is working into this foundation really well because the concealer is very full coverage, but it's getting to blend on top of something that looked so skin-like and moisturizing. So it's really looking good. Bringing you on in here, I feel really well blended right now. Seeing that medium coverage across the skin, but now fuller coverage in my under eye and T-zone areas. I am going to set that with my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in Fair. I'm not doing a ton, but I think I'll have a little to dust away. And like I said, the focus is T-zone. This is what I do every day, so I don't even need to know, like, okay, what will the foundation do all by itself on your skin with nothing else added? That's not even realistic for me. Like, I am going to wear other makeup products, so they'll be involved in the way this whole thing wears too. Actually, I think I'm just going to go around like this all day. One thing I really remembered from the old clean foundation was that Noxzema smell. And it was in the powders too. Some of my earliest makeup products were CoverGirl. They have a tinted moisturizer. I think it's still sold to this day, like CG Smoothers or something like that. That was like my first ever coverage product that I remember using. But I eventually had the clean foundation and I had those like brown compacts, you know, that smelled like Noxzema. But I'm now set on my T-zone. That feels great. Like the under eye, the nose area, over here on the sides of my cheeks. Slightly less dewy than when I started, but still a little bit of moisture there. All I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this brush that only has leftover on it, and I'm just going to dab it over the rest of my skin. And that'll be that. It's a true set on the under eye and T-zone, but just a very light bit elsewhere on my face. So I'm going to continue on. I'm going to finish my face of makeup. I'll show you how that turns out and then I'll take you with me throughout the day and we can see how this is actually looking, okay? I thought I'd just show you this stage of the game because I went on with bronzer, blush, and highlighter. I used the NYX Buttermelt in the shade Deserve Butta, and I've got that on my hairline and just a soft contour today. My blush is the L'Oreal Le Lumi, or Le Liquid Blush Lumi. Shade is Dewy Bright Pink. This one really packs a punch. It was a tiny dot, just a tiny dot, and it blended out to be that intense. I really love it. And then the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Highlighter. This is the Icy Gold shade, just a little bit of that on top. So I wanted you to know what we're looking like with the finished face part so far. I am not doing a special setting spray because I don't want you to think, oh, well, the only reason that lasted was because she put that on top. So there was no special primer, no special setting spray. So as we look at staying power all day, we will know that under eyes and T-zone were set. Other products, yes, were applied, but this is our starting point. And now I'm gonna finish the rest. Alrighty guys, so here's my look for today. I've got my eyes done. I used this palette. Every time I use this palette, I'm reminded of how much I love it. It's the NYX Ultimate Warm Neutrals. Let me show you. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. The moment I opened my mouth, it was like, ah, sneeze. Great mix of neutrals, really soft, like easy blended out kinds of colors. So the blend always looks good every time. But love that eye look. I have on my Kind and Free mascara from Rimmel. That's just on the top. And then just for a little smudgy lower liner, I used my Hard Candy Cold Brew Stick just because I felt bad for it. Hadn't used it in a while. Yes, that's a real thing in my world. On my lips, I've got this L'Oreal Color Riche lipstick in the shade Spiced Cider. Love that color for fall or any kind of sort of holiday time. My Wet n Wild super long lip liner in Brandywine to define that even more. And then love these glosses from Physicians Formula. They are the butter tinted lip conditioners, and this is the shade called Beach Bronze. These feel so nice on your lips. So there's the face all done, and I will make sure to check back in with you several times today, and we'll see how our lovely Clean Invisible is wearing on us. Hey guys, so it's 9 o'clock a.m. It's 3 hours of wear. I'm just considering my makeup done by about 6. 3 hours of wear, no touch-ups. This is what the face is looking like. I feel like it's doing really, really well at this point. I'm kind of like looking in my camera, but first and foremost looking in my mirror that's in front of me, just because I know what it looked like when I was done doing my makeup. I feel maybe just a teensy bit more luminous than when I was fully done with my look earlier, but really pleased with the way things look right now. Like, I have no complaints. I wouldn't see myself in a mirror and think, gosh, I need to touch something up right now. Even around my nose, there's not a whole lot of shine. So 3 hours in and going strong. We're at our 6-hour check-in already, and I feel like the skin is actually looking great. Not too shiny in any one area. Not really feeling too different from the way it did earlier this morning. I noticed that I was maybe just a little more shiny up around the forehead and nose, but not in a problematic way. Nothing appears to be broken down at this point, except maybe my lip color a little bit. All right, it's our 3 o'clock in the afternoon check-in. We're at the playground waiting to pick up Belle. I feel a little dewier maybe than the last check-in, but all in all, I still think everything's hanging together pretty well. Keep in mind T-zone was set, so some additional stuff was coming into the mix, but I touched up my lip with the gloss only just a little bit ago, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty darn good about things. And if you want a closer look at the nose, like, it feels a little slight bit dewy to the touch, but yet I don't think it's broken down. Okay, I'm out of breath. I'm taking a break from an intense game of hide and seek to update you on the makeup because my alarm just went off in the middle of hide and seek. I feel like my face looks pretty good here on camera. Just to be honest with you, like looking up close in the bathroom, maybe the lighting isn't as good or whatever, but I just felt like I was seeing more like crevices of my face. I don't know how to put that. It just didn't look as fresh as it did when it started. And maybe, you know, more setting powder all over could have possibly helped. I think the eyes are looking great. I didn't expect the lip color to really last all day. Blush is hanging in there. Hi, Nook. Hey, did anybody find you? Did you come out voluntarily? So bottom line, I would have to say this is for sure not the worst staying power foundation I've ever tried. It actually did, I think, all in all better than anticipated. For most of the day, I felt like I had a pretty fresh look, and it wasn't until about late afternoon. I mean, things have been going hard here. Uga's about to lose his mind that I'm doing this right now. There's not a monster. I need solitude. While trying to find solitude, I figure let's just come up here to the makeup room and show it this way. Overall, good evenness. Really doesn't look too bad. This lighting is pretty, you know, full on and good here, but in some other lightings, it looks a little more broken down, forehead and nose, but keeping a close eye on it all day. More impressed than I thought I'd be. For an under $7 foundation, I think that's a really good thing to see if you're in the market for something pretty lightweight that's kind of like a stepped up coverage-wise tinted moisturizer. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again soon. I love you. Bye.